Do you know that your brain is quietly reshaping who you are, even in this very moment, without you realizing it? Modern neuroscience has revealed something profound. The human brain is not a fixed structure. It is alive, flexible, and constantly in motion. Every thought you revisit, every emotion you feed, every habit you reinforce, is molding the architecture of your mind, one small change at a time. Yet long before neuroscience existed, ancient cultures taught that the mind is clay, and the self is something you mold from within. Today, we understand that your brain forms millions of new connections each day. Neurons fire together, wire together, weaken, strengthen, and reorganize, responding moment by moment to the way you live your life. Your brain is listening to everything you do. But thousands of years ago, sages described this same process with a different metaphor. They said the mind becomes what it repeatedly touches. Your focus has extraordinary power. Neuroscience shows that whatever you pay attention to strengthens its neural pathways. It's no different than training a muscle. Repetition creates strength. Ancient wisdom expressed the same truth through a simple line that has survived centuries. Energy flows where attention goes. Two worlds, two languages, one human reality. Repeated thoughts are like a well-worn path in your mind. The more you think them, the deeper the neural pathway gets, making those thoughts and reactions automatic and familiar, and eventually shaping the main story your mind tells itself. Ancient traditions recognized this too, and they called these mental impressions samskaras, the patterns left behind by past thoughts, shaping the tendencies of the future. Modern research now confirms that meditation can thicken parts of the brain responsible for clarity, emotional regulation, and intentional decision-making. These aren't mystical changes, they are measurable physical transformations. But ancient practitioners never meditated for brain scans or data. They meditated to understand their inner world. That understanding changed them long before science ever measured the effects. Your brain produces a different chemical signature for every thought. Fear creates one response. Gratitude creates another. Hope, sadness, compassion, all of them shift your biology in their own way. Ancient healers spoke of this in spiritual terms. They called it the balance or imbalance of inner energies. Different language, same truth. Your mindset influences your physiology. Today, psychologists teach that habits become automatic because your brain strengthens the pathways you repeat most often. In the beginning, change feels like effort, but eventually it becomes the new normal. Ancient wisdom said the same thing in its own poetic way. You become the person you practice being. Identity wasn't seen as fixed. It was treated as something you rehearse into existence. Your environment shapes your nervous system more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the tone of a room, the noise, the tension, the calm, all of it leaves an imprint on your brain's activity. This is why ancient seekers were told to choose their surroundings carefully. They believed the outer world eventually becomes the inner world. Neuroscience describes something called implicit memory, the memory your body and nervous system carry. Even when your conscious mind forgets, these hidden memories influence reactions, fears, desires, and choices. Ancient teachings called this the shadow, not darkness, but the unseen parts of yourself that must be acknowledged before they can be healed. Therapists today help people reframe old memories, teaching the brain safer interpretations and healthier emotional responses. This is neuroplasticity in action, rewiring the mind through compassion and awareness. Ancient cultures practiced similar ideas through rituals of release, symbolic ways to let go of what no longer served them, making room for a new inner self to emerge. Gratitude has been shown to activate regions of the brain tied to joy, motivation, and long-term well-being. A few seconds of genuine appreciation can shift your entire internal state. But gratitude wasn't invented by modern science. Ancient traditions taught it as a mental alchemy, turning ordinary moments into something meaningful through attention. Breathwork is now recommended by doctors because slow, intentional breathing calms the amygdala, reduces stress, and restores balance to the nervous system. Ancient cultures saw breath differently. To them, breath was the bridge between body, mind, and life itself, a doorway into clarity hidden in plain sight. Even imagination rewires the brain. When you visualize a new version of yourself, your neural circuits practice that identity before it becomes real. The brain doesn't fully distinguish between imagined and experienced. Ancient mystics called this inner vision, the ability to see with the mind what the eyes cannot yet witness. People often believe that change happens in sudden breakthroughs or dramatic moments, but neuroscience shows it is built on repetition, small actions practiced consistently over time. Ancient philosophy compared this to the slow, intentional, and steady work of a stone carver unveiling a new shape. Your brain can unlearn fear. It can release old identities. It can form new emotional patterns, new beliefs, new ways of seeing yourself and your life. Ancient wisdom described this as a kind of rebirth, not of the body, but of the mind. The more you practice presence, the more your brain strengthens its capacity for calm. The more you practice kindness, the more natural it becomes. The more you practice courage, the less intimidating your fears feel. Ancient teachers summarized this beautifully. What you water grows. Your mind is a garden. The seeds you nourish become your reality. Even silence has measurable effects on the brain. Quiet moments allow neural circuits to reorganize, integrate experiences, and process emotions. Healing often happens in the spaces where nothing seems to be happening. Ancient traditions valued silence as a teacher, a doorway to truth that only appears when the world becomes still. With everything we now know, decades of research, centuries of wisdom, one message becomes clear. You are not the end product of your past. You are the result of the patterns you choose to strengthen today. Ancient texts express this in a single line. You become the story you tell yourself. Here's the revelation that ties everything together. Science and ancient wisdom were never in conflict. They were describing the same inner transformation from two different languages. Neuroscience reveals the wiring. Ancient wisdom reveals the meaning. One explains how change happens, the other explains why. And together they point to one truth. Real transformation begins within. Your brain is not a prison of old patterns. It is a living, evolving canvas. Every thought you choose, every feeling you revisit, every habit you strengthen is shaping who you become. The power to rewrite your inner world has always been yours. So if you want to change your life, begin where all change begins. Begin within.